Good morning, everyone. So, in the last session, we started about the discussion of some of the date related formats. So, in the dates, we discussed about the first call. It is the date class we discussed here. So, after that, we discussed about another important concept we call calendar and the implement. So, calendar basically it is an abstract class. So, if you want to find out the more information on this particular abstract class, what is the concrete class we discussed here? Here we discussed about so this is the Gregorian calendar is one of the implementation class we discussed here. And here we try to continue the continuation of this particular calendar example here. So let me create one example on this particular calendar. So simply I'm trying to write a calendar demo, and here I can go for this particular main method. Now here what we can discuss on this particular calendar. So yesterday we discussed about the instance method. Like if you want to understand the instance method, where is the optional class we have? So where we discuss this particular optional class here, only we are having it. Now what I will do, I'm going to copy this particular piece of code into the calendar demo. Now this is the piece of code yesterday we discussed. So if you observe carefully here, what we are doing is, here we are trying to work with this particular the Gregorian calendar is the one of the subclass of this particular calendar. Now here you can see time frame, date and time we are trying to. Now after that, so what we need to understand here, we are having another method. So what are the another methods we are having here? So to understand this, if you want to find out the leap year, okay. So if you want to find out this particular leap year, so what exactly we'll do here? Now here, what I'm doing here, so simply I'm going to insert as a into. So I'm declaring into year. So wherever we are having year, now what I'm doing here I'm trying to print this particular year is equals to, so this is the value. Now here you can see here, so calendar dot, if it is a leap year, okay, so this is the method we are having is leap year. So if it is a leap year, so this particular piece of code is going to be executed here. So this is the particular piece of code it is going to be executed. So what is the piece of code we are trying to write here? So simply the current year is the leap year. Okay. So otherwise it will go to this particular else. Else simply I'm trying to print here. Here I'm trying to print the current year. It is not a current year is not a leap year. Okay. So this is important information. Now, so what do we need to understand it? So if I'm trying to print the 2023, what is the error message we are getting? So here it basically it is not a leap year. Here it is not a leap year. Okay. So what exactly it is checking internally? What exactly this particular logic is? Now here you can see what we are doing here. So we are trying to do the condition of this particular tree, and if it is not equal to 0, so simply we are going to get as a false. Simply we will get as this particular false. So otherwise, so these are the conditions we are checking. Now based on this particular different type of condition, now we are trying to print whether the current year is a leap year or not. Okay. So this particular leap year related information, so where we are providing under this particular, so Gregorian calendar. Okay, so this is another important we need to understand here. Now yesterday we discussed about the another important concept called calendar. Sorry, the different type of constructors. So now you can see the default constructors we are calling here. Now internally it is doing this particular constructor. So because here we are providing this, so this is basically it will try to refer to the current class constructor. It will refer to the current class constructor. So what are the parameters we are passing? So this is the first parameter and this is the second parameter. Okay. So finally we are passing the two parameters. So now you can see here the time zone you can pass explicitly. So by default it is passing this is the time zone and it is trying to find out the location. It is trying to find out the location. So here time zone we are giving explicitly by calling this particular constructor, and here so we are passing this particular location. So we'll see the what exactly the particular Gregorian constructors are going to provide the information. So to understand this particular Gregorian calendar, so what exactly it is doing? Okay, so what exactly the calendar it is going to do here. So to work with this particular local, so we are having local calendar. Okay, so this is a local calendar. Now what we can do here, I am going to create a local object. Now here what we can provide here, the local you can see Canada, China, Chinese, English. So we are having different type of locales we are having here. So now normally what we will do, we'll go to the English. We'll go to the English. So now using this particular locale, we can create the calendar object here. Now the same object we are getting here. Okay, same we are getting here. Now what exactly so this particular locale is doing? So locale basically it will try to differentiate the language code into country code. Okay, language code into country code. So now if I am going to give Chinese related, if I am going to give Chinese related, so what we are going to get understand here, I can see, so as of now the date and time it is not going to be changed. Date and time it is not going to be changed. So we'll see what exactly the locale will do. Now another important section called time zone. Okay, so this is the time zone we are going to provide. Now here what are the different type of time zones we are having? What are the different type of time zones? Now here you can see, so we can go for the default. We can go for the default time zone. So what exactly the default time zone will do now? What exactly the default time zone? So whatever the default constructor we are passing here, so if you see here also we are calling the same default time zone. Okay, but what we are doing explicitly we are providing the same default time zone. Now if you go to this particular calendar memo, what exactly it is doing is so default time zone. Now what we are passing regarding this particular default time zone, just to be declared here. So as of now we did not initialize the value. So now default time zone we are passing, if the default time zone is none, so set to default time zone. So based on this particular logic here, so the time zone is going to be set. Okay, so as of now we did not discuss about the local and the time zone, we'll discuss later. So we can pass the local and time zone. So what about the another one? Along with this particular time zone and the local, we can give in the one constructor. So that is also one more constructor we are having. And along with this, so we are having so date related constructors, like we can give the year, month and the date. Okay, we can give the year, month and the date also. So we'll see what exactly the year, month, date will do now. Okay, so before going to discuss about the another constructors here, now we need to discuss the another important method called. We need to discuss about the another important method called calendar dot get time. So whenever I'm trying to call this particular time, what is an object we are getting here? Date object we are getting. Here we are getting the date object. So whenever I'm trying to print here, so what is the date we are getting here? So now you can see, so started October. Now this is the time, and so here we are getting the year and time zone, like IST time zone we are having. So these two we are getting from this particular println statement here. But in the last one, get time, what exactly it is doing? It is trying to print this particular all the information in the one line. Okay, So this is what we need to understand here. Now, so what we can do basically, so we can work with the same year. Now, so this is basically calendar.get time. We are trying to work with the so Gregorian calendar. Now, if you want to work with the same calendar, so we can do the same here. So calendar one. Now, so what we can do basically here. So to want to work with this particular calendar, now we need to work on the calendar.get. Okay, so here we are having new year. So we need to remove the new and we can call the get time. We can call the get time. So now the right side part we don't need. Now directly we can pause it. So first one we can discuss with the Gregorian calendar. Second one we can work with the calendar is a super class for this particular Gregorian calendar. Now if you see, so both we are getting the same. Both we are getting the same. So you can work, if you are working with the calendar, you will get the same time, and if you are trying to work with the Gregorian calendar, you will get the same year. And but only the difference is what are the abstract methods we are having under the calendar, so that we implemented under this particular, so the subclass called Gregorian calendar. Okay, so this is we understand. The second constructor, like second one, how we can do. So this is basically it will work with the Gregorian calendar. It will work with the AM PM also. It will work with the AM PM. So now to understand this, now what I'm doing here. Here I can provide the particular AM PM. So to work on this particular AM PM, now what we can do, so we need to provide the one more array. Here one more array we need to provide here. So here I'm trying to provide AM PM is equal to here AM comma PM. Okay, so these are the values we can provide, and after that here what I'm doing here, so AM PM, and here we need to check the AM PM. So how we are getting it now here calendar dot, so this is a get calendar dot AM. So here we are having AM. So this is we can pass. So we'll get the time with the AM or PM. Now you can see 7:25:39. It is the AM. 7:25:39, and here we are getting the AM and the PM. Okay. So what exactly it is doing? So based on this particular information, like we plotted hour, we plotted the minute, and we plotted the second. So based on this particular hour, minute, second, the current date is going to be loaded, and it will try to print the particular current date. Okay. So this is we need to understand the important section. And another important section basically. Another important section, what we can understand here. So we can work with the date. So we can work with the year, month, and the date. So bypass this particular constructor. Now what I am doing here, I am trying to comment on this particular example. Otherwise, so directly we can give you. So now what I am doing here, so 2000. So this is the year I am providing. Okay, so this is the year I am trying to provide, and I can give the month here. So something like month I given, and the date I am trying to give as something like 26. So if I am going to pass the year, I can see year I am passing, month I am passing, and day I am passing. So by passing this, now I am trying to print the same value. Okay, so now if you see here, based on this particular date, so 2020. Now what we are getting here? Here we given as a 3. We given as a 3 here, but what we are getting basically here we are getting the April 26. April 26. So what is the time we are getting? So 0, 0 we are getting. So why we are getting 0? Because we did not provide any time. Okay, so we did not provide any time here. So this is the way we can work on the. This is the way we can work on this particular one more constructor by providing the year, month, and date. So most of the cases will not use, because here the time related logic will work on the current date. So to provide this particular year, what I'm doing is current year I'm providing, and so 9 if I'm going to provide, and 21 years. So we'll see how exactly this particular calendar will print out. So October 21, 2023. Okay, so time we did not provide it, so because of that we did not get it. So using this particular constructor, we can work on the same calendar object. And if you are not watching it, so by default it will try to load the current date. By default it will load the current date. Now here, so along with this, yes, correct, 9 is the September, but internally it is going to add 1 month addition. So whenever we are doing it, it will add a 1 month addition and it will do the calculation. So if you observe, this is not here, we pause here. Now you can see 0 to 11. The range we are passing is 0 to 11. So 0 will treat as a January. Now whenever we are giving 3, so that will try to go for the April. Because, so we need to work with the 0 and 11. So here we are not passing the 12. So up to 11 only we are going to pass. So because of this, now internally it will try to do the 1 month addition, it will do the current calculation. Because here we are passing the 0 will go to the January. This is the way it will calculate the month and the date related. Okay. Now after that, so what we can do, we need to find out the particular time zone and the locale. So what exactly the locale will do and what is the time zone we are going to get. From here, yeah, after that, here I am trying to print here time zone. So to work with this particular time zone, here now what I am doing is, so here calendar dot time zone dot get to display. So it will try to print the time zone. Now, so if we want to find out what is the time zone we are going to get. Now here you can see time zone Indian Standard Time. So here we are getting the IST. So based on this particular IST, this particular time we are going to print. So this is, we need to understand the time zone, and we need to discuss about the locale here. So what exactly the locale will do now. So to understand this, I am going to print the locale here. Okay, and here, so to print the locale, we are having get default dot this kind. So here we can pass the country name, but finally what we are doing is, so we are trying to find out the default locale. So now you can see the default locale we are getting as a English, and here what is the locale we are getting the United States. Okay, so now we'll try to find out what are the different time zones and what are the different locale we are going to have with an example here. So these are the basic examples we need to understand whenever we are trying to work with this particular calendar here. Okay, so this is important concept here. So regarding this particular Gregorian calendar. So any questions? And here, so we need to understand the the important method. So what are the methods we identified here? What are the methods we identified basically? So inside this particular calendar, where we are having calendar. Now here you can see, so what is the abstract method we are having? So why this calendar is making as a abstract method? So to understand this, so we have a method called add method. So add method, which is expressing the input. Okay. So now you can see here we are having, these are the abstract methods. So compute time is the one abstract, compute field is another abstract method. Now add method. So now you can see here what we are doing here, we can pass the field and the amount. So what exactly it will do this particular add? This method basically it is going to add this particular time or date. So based on this particular okay. So here what we need to understand here we need to understand the abstract add method. So what exactly the add method will do? It will try to add the particular the time frame into this particular current calendar here. Okay. So whatever we observe here, if you go to this particular calendar demo, how we are adding the calendar.hub. So same way it will do this particular add method. Okay. Now here, so if you want to find out the same calendar add method, because this is one of the implementation class. Now you can see what we are doing. So here we are passing the field and we are trying to pass this particular amount here. Now we are calling so here we are calling this particular compute method. So why we are calling? Sync the time and the calendar field. Okay. So now you can see if the field we are trying to provide as a year, it will do the year related calculation. So otherwise it will do the minus year related minus where it's going to be do. Otherwise we can pass the month and we can pass the so here we are having one more some second minute and hour of the day. So we are going to check with based on this particular field. So whatever we are interested, we can pass. Like if you want to add a year, you can add. If you want to add a month, you can add. If you want to add the day and hour, minute, second, everything, we can add as a field. So and the amount basically how many days, how many years, how many months we want to add. The specific logic it is going to be useful here. So this is the one abstract method here. And after that, so we are having after here. So we are going to have one important method called after. So here we are having after method. So we'll see here we are having after method. So what exactly it is doing here? Now if you see here we are going to pass the object and if this particular when instance of this particular calendar and here we are going to pass as a compare because yesterday we discussed about the particular calendar internally it is implementing from this particular compare. So whenever it is trying to implement from this particular compare group, what we are doing is, so how many days, the compare to how it is going to be called based on the current object, it will call the compare to, and here we are going to pass one more calendar object. One more calendar object. If the calendar is greater than 0, we'll get the positive value, like we'll get the true, otherwise we'll get the false. So simply, if we want to check the current date, so if we want to calculate the true calendar date, whether it is after or whether it is before, we can call this particular after method. So simply, what it will do, if the calendar is after, it will try to return true, otherwise it will try to return as a false. Okay, so same way we are going to have before also. Same way we will have a before also. So instance of basically it will check the the particular type is a calendar type or not. So because here what we are doing, we are passing the object. So whenever we are passing object, we can pass any data type. We can pass any data. Not only this particular calendar, we can pass a string or integer, double, because object is the by default super class for all the classes. Now, but here, so what is an object type it is expecting? Because here we are calling the compare. Whenever we are calling the compare, we need a calendar object. So we need a calendar object. So we cannot work with other objects. Okay. So because of that, so it's like a if condition. So what we will do, if the object type equals to the specified data type, then it will become true. Otherwise, it will become false. So to understand this if condition, now what I am doing here, so simply we can add a condition. If calendar, you can add instance of, so this is an object. So simply print this. If condition is true. Okay, if condition is true. Just you can observe the last println statement is what we are getting if condition is true. So why we are getting it? Because here whatever the object we created, so it is a type of this particular Gregorian calendar. It is a type of this particular Gregorian calendar. But how we are checking? Using this instance of keyword. So in some instance of keyword, basically what it will do, just it is going to compare this object is having the type of this. The particular object, whatever we are passing, so this is the data type having this particular Gregorian calendar mark. If it is having, so it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So same way, so whatever the object we are passing, it is having the data type called calendar. If it is having calendar, this particular condition will become true. And we are checking. And here what we are doing is we are calling the comparative. And whenever we are passing this particular whenever we are passing the parameter based on the current object, the calendar, and the comparative method parameter, it will do the comparison and it will check the, so if it is less than 0, it will become true. Otherwise, it will become false. Okay. So simply what we need to understand here, instance of basically just it will check the left side object, it is having the data type of this particular right side. So if it is having the same data type, it will become true. Otherwise, it will become false. So this is what we need to understand the instance of keyword. So this is also important. We will use more and more in the real-time applications. Okay. So now we observe the before and after. After that, we discuss about the clear method. So what exactly is the clear method which we do now? So basically, it will zero all the time components. Okay, so basically, if you observe, this is a two lines. Basically, here we are having two lines of condition. So this is a one condition we are having, and second condition is okay. Here we are doing the two condition in the one line. What if we are doing first condition? So you can add a condition like this. So if you want to add, you can add a condition. One condition is this, and so second condition you can add this. Second condition you can add like this. So here what we are doing is the first condition we are checking. The object is having the type of calendar or not. If yes, now what we are doing is we are calling the compare to. The compare to, so we are passing the calendar. So just when is an object here, we are converting into the calendar. So this is a conversion logic. If you remember, in the initial days we discussed about the into to long to double. What we did, let's say we are having this into val is equals to so something like 4500. So the same value, now if I want to convert into the double, now what we will do, here we are going to write the double data type here, and here what is the variable we are trying to convert here? The val. This value, now it will try to convert it into the double data type here. So same here, whatever the when object we are having, now we are trying to convert it into this particular calendar. But once this particular condition is satisfied, once the when object is having the data type called calendar, then only it will try to go to the, then only it will convert it into the calendar type object. So just this particular current bracket, it will do the conversion. Conversion means one object type into the another object. So what is the one object? When. And what is the object type that converting a calendar? Okay. So this is what we need to understand regarding this particular condition. So here we are doing the two types of conditions, but here in the calendar itself they provided as a one condition. The inside the calendar we provided as one condition. First it will check this, and later it will check this, and whenever less than 0, so then it will become true. Otherwise, in any other cases, it will become false. Okay. So here we are doing the greater than, and here we are doing the less than. So this is what we need to understand before and after. If you observe carefully, in the date class also we discussed about the before and after. But there we are passing the date, and here we are passing the object. So object means internally we are going to pass the same calendar object. If you are passing other object here, so it will not calculate the current date related information. Okay. So these are the additional methods we are having here. So to check basically the simple method we can call here. So here observe carefully. Now calendar dot before and passing. Okay, before and passing. But here what we can do, calendar dot get instant. Calendar dot get instant. Now you can print the value. Get instant. Now you can print this particular value. So what is the value we are getting? True we are getting. Okay. So this is we are getting as a true here. So this is the way it will print this. So if I am going to print this after. If I am going to print this after. So false we are getting the point. So why we are getting true and why we are getting the false is because we need to understand the time frame so that we can understand the date whatever we are providing, this is a before. Like the date basically we are having before the current date. It is not the after the current date. So to check here what we can do, I am going to give 2020 and so I can go for the 6 months and something like a 13. Okay. Now I am going to run the same. Now you can see, so still we are getting the false. It is not a after here. So now what we can do, we can call the before here. Because what is the current date we are having here? So Monday, July 30. Okay. So July 30, 2020. And so what exactly this particular piece will do? It will try to print the current date. It will try to print the current date. So this is the way we can do the logic of before and after. Before and after. So this particular calculation when we are trying to work with the date calculation, so the before and after we are going to be using. Okay. So to check this particular equal. Now what we can do? So we can check the equal. Calendar dot so equal calendar dot get instant. Now the last println we are doing the equal. Now you can see we are getting the false because both times are different. Both times are different. So if you want to understand here, what you will do before using the before statement, print this. Now what can I do? Calendar dot get time, calendar get instant method. Okay. So here only we are getting this. Now I am trying to comment out this. These are the two I am trying to comment out. Now if you observe calendar dot get time and calendar dot get instant dot get time. So now here we can understand the time frame. We can understand the time frame. Now if you see here, so this is coming from the Monday, July Gregorian time. And whatever the Saturday we are getting, this is the current date. But how we are printing, this is the present. So now if you see this, that before statement, the calendar is a Gregorian object and we are calling the before and providing the current object. We are providing the current object. So now, what exactly it is doing here? It is trying to return as a true. Compared to this particular date, it is a before only. So this is the date is a before. So because of that, now we are getting the true. So same thing, if I am doing the after, we are getting the false. But what we can do? We can do the reverse logic. So now observe carefully. Now here what I am doing, calendar dot instance dot before I am calling it. Now I am going to pass the calendar. So both println statement. Let me comment out this also, and this also we can comment out. Now you will understand this 4 println statements. So here you can see. So these are the two it's printing, and here you can see the before it is printing true. But whenever I am checking, so this particular piece, whatever I am highlighting, so that will get as a current time before this particular the calendar. Okay, so we are not going to, because the calendar time is given as a 2020 we given. Now if I am going to give as a after, after this particular current date, that is called calendar. Now you can see, so both we are getting as it. So this is we need to understand. Here we are using the before, and here we are using the after. And here, so the Gregorian calendar object, and we are calling the before. But here calendar dot instance, we are calling the after. So this is the way the before and after which is going to be used to compare the date. And here, so what exactly another method we do now? Here we can identify the available locations. So what are the locations we are going to have under this particular calendar object? So to print this, what I am doing here, okay, we'll keep these two here. Now I can comment out this, and this is also I can comment out. And otherwise, what we can do, we can call this one. We can remove the after method, and here, so get. Here we are having the method. Get available. So here we are having. What are the So these are the premium constants we are getting. Actual memory to greater memory. Okay. So maybe the method it is not available, maybe it is remote, or let's see. So once object we can get anything on this. Instance dot. Okay, maybe the method is remote. So basically what we can understand is by calling the get available locale, so we can identify the list of locales we are going to be used under this particular calendar list. So that type of information we'll get it in the calendar class. Let me search here. Here we are having. So why I'm not getting this? So this is the method I'm trying to discuss here. Get available locales here. Let me copy it and try here. So it is there. Okay. Now you can see it will print as a array object. So now you can see here we are getting as a local array object. Okay. So whenever we are getting this particular local array object here, what we can do? So what we can do basically, we can work with a for loop here. Into I is equals to 0 and I less than, just copy this entire block here. dot length and I plus. And here what I'm going to do here, I'm going to print this. Okay, so I will pass as I. I will pass as I, so that we can get to know what are the default locale we are having. So now you can see these are the different locale we are having. Okay, so these many we are having. Like here, language code and country code. Language code and country code we are going to get. So we are going to have big local information set, because we are going to be used in the worldwide. We are going to be used, because of that we are going to have multiple locations. Okay, so this is we can identify here. Now these are the default locale we can identify based on the get available. Now we observe the get time method, and we can get the get time zone also. Here you can see we call the time method and we call the time zone method. Now we call the locale default to locale we call it. So these are the methods we are having under this particular calendar class. Okay, so now we discuss about it. So these many the different type of methods under this particular calendar class. Now along with this, now we observe these are the different type of locale also we are having under this particular calendar class. So now another important information we need to understand is time zone. So what exactly the time zone we do now? Okay, so another the time related class, basically it is a time zone and it is a abstract class. Okay, and it is a abstract class. So what exactly the time zone we do now? So if you observe, if you go to this particular class level constructor, we are passing the time zone. Okay, here we are passing the time zone. So here we are passing the constructor level, we are passing the time zone here. Constructor, this is the builder we are having. Okay, now here you can see this is the time zone. Now here you can see time zone is one of the abstract class. So time zone basically it is one of the abstract class. So what exactly it will do? It is always basically it will give the information we can work with a different time zone. So currently what is the time zone we are working? So that is called IST, Indian Standard Time here. So same way we are going to have multiple time zones like GMT, UTC, EST. So we are going to have a different time zones here. Okay, so how we can identify them? So what is the best way to create a time zone object and how we can work with this particular time zone? To work with this, now what I'm doing is, now I'm trying to comment on this here. I'm trying to comment on this particular information, and here also this loop we can comment on. And after that, so what I'm doing here calendar dot get time zone. So whenever we are trying to work with the time zone, now we are getting the time zone object. So time zone dot, so we can pass the available IDs. So we are going to have a method called available. So here you can see get available ID. So what exactly this will do now? It will try to provide the what are the different time zone IDs we are having. Okay. So to run this, now I can go for the same for loop here, so that we can print the what are the available time zone IDs we are having this. Okay. So this is we can do now. Now print this. Now you can see what are the time zones we are having here. So these are the time zones here. Okay. So we are going to have multiple time zones here. So like Africa time zone, and these are the Africa related time zone. and these are the America related time zones. So same way we are going to have so different time zones. Like here we can see the Asia time zones here. So under the Asia, so what we are having here, so Singapore, Qatar, we can see the Kolkata. So here we are having Indian time zones. So same way we are going to have different time zones. So to find out the what time zone we are going to work with the dates here and the time here, we can work with this particular time zone. So by calling this particular available ID, we can get all the default time zones are available here. Okay. So now here, so if I want to get the current ID, how we can get here? So whatever the default time zone we are calling here we are calling calendar.get time zone, and here we are calling the display name. So along with that, what we can do, we can call the ID. Okay. So here you can see we can call the ID. So what exactly this ID will do now? What exactly this ID will do now? So print out this. Here I'm trying to print the time zone dot get ID. Okay. So here you can see. So this is the name of this particular ID we are getting it, the time zone ID. And if I'm going to print the just display name. If I'm going to print the display name. So now you can see this is the Indian Standard Time we are getting as a display name, but internally the particular time zone we are going to work like this. Okay, so this is the way we can identify. Now if we want to call the default based on the time zone, now it will try to pick up what is the default time zone. So we are having these are the methods under this particular time. So what we can do basically, so simply we can identify based on which zone of the particular time we are going to do calculate it, and we are going to work with it. So this is what we need to understand it regarding the time zone. Now, and another one is we can work with daylight saving, because this daylight saving we are going to use most of the US related time zones here. But how we can use here? The same way you can see calendar dot get time zone dot, so use daylight time zone. So can we use this particular daylight time zone? Now what we are getting? False. So why we are getting the false? Because we are in the Indian Standard Time zone. Because of that, we are not going to be using the particular time, like the daylight. Because this particular method simply it will try to return the true answer. Because we are getting the false, we are not going to be use the daylight time zone. Okay. So this is the one more method we are having under this particular time zone. And along with this, so we have other method of this particular zone ID. So how we can work with this particular zone ID? Let me print this calendar dot get time zone dot to zone ID. So again we are having zone ID is one more time. Okay, so now we are getting the same. So now this particular zone ID, what exactly it will do? This is the one more abstract class which is added from the 1.8. Okay, so it will do the same. So but this particular class is it will try to work with the local date time and the local date, because in the 1.8 also we are having number of classes are added in this particular time frames here. Like whatever the date we discussed here along with the calendar, in the 1.8 local date and local date time, these are the time zones. So the number of classes are added. So we'll see what are the classes added inside the 1.8. So now, so finally we discussed about the calendar class, the implementation class we discussed here, time zone we discussed here, only one pending, local is pending. So we already identified the basic information about the local here. So just it will try to provide the country code and the language code. So based on the country code and language code, it will try to provide the time frame. Okay, so these are the important information regarding the time. So any questions? Okay. If you don't have anything, so the last concept is only something like a stream related API. So we need to discuss on the stream related API, how it is going to be working. I will see on the Monday session. The stream related information will continue on the Monday.